Okay, hey everybody, it's me again. Yeah, I'm here to do my season 5 review of Smallville. So, yeah, I'll get off to start off. It was a great season. It had a ratings high as far as I remember for a lot of different reasons. And moved to Thursday, which is some say was like a suicide move, but paid off well. So, and this season actually like some that and or the fourth season is how I got into the show. It's also the first like season DVD that I actually bought. So I've been in this until I got into the show, So kudos to season 5 to getting me into it. So yeah, this season was actually pretty important. It also had like the main cast members who were like the most important and the ones who appeared in the most amount of episodes. So yeah, so like getting into the season, like it was like the turning point. I think it was like the midway point, basically. Like everyone's growing up. Clark, Lana, Chloe, they're entering college and everything, and then and all that. We had some new additions to start off with. We had the introduction of Brainiac, who played by James Marsters, who was from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He was Spike. He was a great addition. Like he pretty much killed it as Brainiac, aka Milton Fine, as the alias he went under. So he was posing as Clark's college professor, which is a nice little touch. He came down in the meteor shower that happened at the end of last season, and there's a ship that came down. Him and a greater threat, General Zod. We'll get into that a little bit. But another thing that was good, last season had to search for the three stones, and now it came together to one big stone, and eventually Clark ended up in the Arctic, and he threw it in the air, and then it became the Fortress of Solitude and everything. So yeah, and then Jor-El had training for him so he could become Superman to fulfill his destiny and everything. But then he kind of ignored that. Well, Jor-El gave him a warning. He had to go off and save lives, particularly Chloe's and like the Zod's soldiers, his disciples, who was also in his ship. He had to go defeat them. They had to return to him by sundown. And there was going to be consequences, but it just didn't happen. Consequences ended up losing his powers temporarily for a few episodes. But another thing that was good was Lex stepping towards even more further towards the dark side. And this is actually when Clark and Lex stop being friends. Their friendship pretty much ends. They they're done. They've tried. Clark just gets fed up with them, and then they start moving towards it. Yeah, and yeah. Speaking of Clark and Destiny, and the hardships, and basically Clark has a lot to deal with this season, like with the fact of he enters new territory with Lana, like since they're in college, and they end up begin having sex like without his powers, because with his powers he's afraid of what he'd do to her, if he didn't control himself, which kind of sucks for him. I mean, he can't have sex because he's afraid to, yeah, that would suck for anybody. But I guess him, Clark being Clark, he's all, not exactly confident. He is, he's always sacrificing himself for others, which is good. But also at the same time, it's like, yeah, come on, dude, try to help yourself a little bit, But I don't know. But hey, I guess some people are like that. But hey, nothing wrong with that. But anyway. Aside from that, what else we got? One more thing, yeah. Yeah, also, this one season that was really big, we had a death, a very big death that affects Clark in the form of Jonathan Kent leaving the show, because there's a part of a deal that, the deal that was made by Jor-El, that basically in Clark's life, Clark ends up getting shot in an episode without his powers, and he dies, but Jor-El couldn't let his son die, so he restored his powers, but there'd be a price to pay for it, a life force balance or whatnot, and it ended up being Jonathan Kent. The episode Reckoning, the 100th episode, by the way, which was a stellar episode, very heartfelt, very heart-wrenching for a lot of fans. Like, at first, there was like an alternate timeline where Clark revealed his secret to Lana, but she ended up dying, and he couldn't live with that. And Jor-El only said he only had one chance to make things right, and after that, no chances afterwards, but instead of Lana, he was able to save Lana and not tell her a secret, which caused an even bigger wedge between them. But also, but Jonathan ended up dying of heart failure, like after confronting Lionel about something. Lionel, who actually learns Clark's secret in this season, reveals that he knows about Clark. Rather, he's probably known before then. It is revealed that he knows Clark's secret, and he kind of goes in a different direction. Like he's actually helping the Kents instead of Lex, since Lex and Jonathan had actually battled for the Senate seat, for the state Senate seat, and he like Jonathan. I mean, yeah, Lionel was helping Jonathan win, and Jonathan knew that there was a price to pay, and he confronted it, and he knew his secret and all that stuff. So yeah, another thing there was a big wedge between Clark and Lana, and then also there was a romance developed between Lex and Lana, which I mean some fans weren't too crazy about it, but me personally I actually kind of liked it. I felt like it was really good. I wanted to see what those two would be like to they were together. It was hinted at for many seasons before, but now they're actually together and everything. Lana and Lex, that's interesting. Lex being like this, like Lana like running a real man rather, and Lex, providing that and everything, and so yeah. And also this season, Chloe pretty much becomes even a bigger ally to Clark, knowing that she knows his secret and everything. So yeah. So yeah, so good season. Also this season we had the introduction of Aquaman and Cyborg. A couple episodes. Last season we had the Kid Flash or whatnot last season, so they started to introduce the bigger DC world, which is good, in addition to Brainiac, who was the main villain for the season. And later we even had Zod, in the form of a disembodied wraith from the Phantom Zone. Originally Clark was going to be the vessel of Zod, but ends up being Lex. Like Brainiac makes a deal with Lex, and Lex gets Kryptonian powers and everything. I guess may have kind of figured out Clark's secret, but then, and I won't spoil anything, but I guess, he doesn't remember later, but, I don't really understand that. But anyway, yeah, Zod ends up taking over Lex's body, and yeah, it just goes all, and pretty much goes all, all hell breaks loose from there, basically. Brainiac unleashes a virus. It's like Y2K, pretty much. Powers down, and Zod prepares to take over the world, with using Lex as his vessel. In the end, and so yeah, that's pretty much how the season ends. With Zod standing over the highest building, and Lana by his side, or Lana thinking that it's still Lex. And then he also traps Clark in the Phantom Zone. We actually do see the Phantom Zone. So I mean, that was good. But overall, astonishing season. Like a lot of real big moments for a lot of the characters. Everything. Also, Lois was promoted up to series regular. Like last season, she was a recurring guest star, but here she was a main cast member. Although I think she didn't quite do as much as she did last season. Like, I mean, there was one episode, Exposed, where she got some exposure, rather, we should say. And everything, and she ended up dating the Aquaman, aka Arthur Curry, in an episode, and that kind of, yeah. But yeah, overall good season, a lot of build up and everything. It's pretty much the turning point, like when the characters start to grow and mature more. Clark, Lana, Chloe, Lex starting to embrace more his dark side. I mean, I really liked the episode Lexmas, which was a really good episode. Really showed how he's just he sees his dead mother after getting shot, and sees how life could be and everything. I like seeing everything he wants if he just makes the right choices. But of course, Lex being Lex, and the dysfunction with their family kind of doesn't really happen for him. And then the episode Void, he sees his mother again, and she tells him his fate, that he's gonna be pretty much a killer. He's gonna be a tyrant. And whereas when Clark sees his deceased father, he says, "Hey, you're gonna touch the lives of so many people. You're gonna be a symbol of hope." It really signifies these two men, what they're gonna be. I mean, how Clark and Lex are actually on the season DVD cover. So I mean, it really shows these men are really just really stepping forward into the men that they'll be. One being the side of good, the other just serving his own purposes and everything, being this dark, twisted man and everything. So yeah. Overall, good season. This is definitely a high point in the series this season. A lot of good story arcs. With Brainiac, introduction of Brainiac, Clark and Lex moving towards their destinies, the death of Jonathan Kent, and then which haunts Clark later on in the series. So yeah, good stuff. Let me know what you think of season 5. Was it good? Was it one of your favorites, or did you like the 100th episode and everything? All I know is I did. I enjoyed this season very much. So yeah, I'll leave it there, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.